Alright guys, this is Tacked Pants. We're going to be looking at the Gerber dime today. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. First impression look of the Gerber dime. Black on black with a sweet Digicam lanyard here. Looks alright. Okay, let's go through the talking points, construction, features, ergonomics, and usability, and then at the end the rating, which I always put down in the comments. First, we'll go over the construction here. We have aluminum handle scales on both sides with stainless steel implements here, different tools, and then stainless steel liners inside, so you won't have to worry about rust. All Torx head fasteners here hold all of the different tools in place, adjust your pivots and whatnot. Everything is black oxide coated, so you won't have to worry about too much rusting, although the coating does wear off pretty easily, so you'll just have to bear that in mind. If you want something that looks really cool, get this, use it a lot, have it wear off. If you don't like it and want to have it look pristine, then you might want to look somewhere else. Alright, so let's get into the first tool here, which is the cute little knife on this tool, which is, in itself a pretty cute little tool size-wise. This is a 3CR13 MOV blade. Like I said, black oxide coated, nail nick deployment there. It's just about the right, amount of force that you need to get that out of there and deploy it. It did not come super sharp from the factory. I touched it up just a little bit, just enough to really make it usable for me for everyday carry. I like the sheep's foot design or Warncliffe, whatever you like to call it. So you're not, poking yourself all the time with the end of the blade, but if you need to, you can kind of rotate it and get in to do some finer detail tasks with the tip. That's all I really have to say about that. Besides 3CR13, don't hear a whole lot about it because it doesn't have great edge retention. But on a little multi-tool like this, that's probably going to be, at best, your backup knife or your backup blade. So it doesn't have to, hold an edge for a super long time because that'll be your backup. Second here is like a tool something like Batman would use. Looks pretty wicked, actually. You've got the finger choil here, got this little area to kind of suck in material, which is, this implement is a retail package opener is what they call it. Basically for all the blister packages and whatnot, you get different things in, like the Gerber dime came inside of, at least mine did. You can use that blister package opener and trace the outline of your, whatever item you have, your wall charger or whatever that you get from Walgreens, and not cut anything inside, which you do with like a regular knife blade. So super handy to have. I use it all the time. You can also use it as a regular box opener, cut and tape and whatnot to save your knife blade edge. Continuing here on the outside, we have a driver set. Here's the flathead, which you can see that the finish is kind of already starting to wear off on me. Yeah, it's not particularly a durable finish, but it is a precisely ground, flathead screwdriver. I wish it was a longer length. I wish it had a longer shank there. I really do. And something that like the Leatherman Micro and a couple other different small multi-tools get a little bit right, a little bit better execution than this. It'll work, but for getting into those longer areas or whatnot, it's just not quite as handy to have a short little stubby driver like that. Here we go with the Phillips Driver, and here's the first negative thing about the Gerber dime. Not the Phillips Driver, that pretty much rocks. 2D Phillips Driver. It's a little bit short, like I said, but it still works great. Is the file. Pretty much good for nothing except for filing nails, if you can, stick your nail inside of there. There's a multitude of problems with this. I'll just go over a few of them. The surface texture of it sucks. It is really not abrasive at all. They didn't make the cuts in the steel nearly deep enough to get you some good abrasiveness to take material off with. Really anything more than, filing nails, you're not going to have any luck with it. I tried, didn't work, total fail. That's about all I have to say about the performance of it, except for you can't even get to the freaking thing. Are you kidding me? Look, you've got the bottle opener here, which is excellent, by the way. The bottle opener is in the way. So people say, oh yeah, well you can, half fold and deploy the tool and then use it that way and then it works great. Well, then your lanyard is still in the way. And if you take the lanyard ring completely off, which I don't recommend you do, even then you still have a totally sucky file and you have to use it halfway deployed, which is not great. Gerber really should have thought that through a little bit better. Made this the longer tool, even if you had to have a shorter Phillips head driver, made this longer and given you a better texture on the file there. Rant complete. That is it for that. All right, the scissors. Let's get to the scissors here. They are decent, not excellent, but decent. And the reason that they are not excellent, if you guys can see that in the camera, is because the blades on these are so broad. On the Victorinox multi-tool that I just reviewed a little bit ago, its scissors are really precise and sharp. These are really broad and they're not that sharp, which means you kind of get a jagged cut. It's not efficient. You might be a little bit stronger design than the Victorinox. You have, a little thumb shelf here, kind of copying the Leatherman Squirt, which I don't own yet. The mechanism there, just a little piece of spring steel, makes it nice and smooth, smooth to operate, but it's really hard to get through different materials. Even if you're just cutting paper, you have to wiggle, cut, wiggle. Not super great there. All right, last tool on the outside, I should say inside the handles, but on the outside of the tool is the tweezers here, which are the exact same size as standard Victorinox tweezers, except for the end here. I actually interchanged them completely the other day with my Victorinox, and they fit perfectly. There we go, focus. On the end there, there's just kind of a, I wouldn't say cheap, but definitely a budget option for, securing the end of those tweezers, just rolling the steel over and then maybe tack welding or something like that. Inside there, it'll definitely, the finish is going to wear off quickly if you use these with any frequency. I find that they come in handy a lot of times. Use tweezers all the time. And then to possibly, listen to this, guys, possibly the best item on this multi-tool, the bottle opener. It is awesome. Through the contour of the entire tool, you can really choke up on this and get the full tool in kind of the fat of your hand. And, it's nice and thick, nice and strong. It's reinforced. So you can get onto your favorite beverage, pop the top on it, and enjoy it as long as you would like to. You can see the finish is coming off of mine just a little bit from carrying it. Not that I pop that many brewskis every night. That is that. Works good. Finish is coming off. That's the end of that there. Now to the main part of most multi-tools, which would be the pliers here. And you can see they're not a super smooth deployment. That's the first thing I'm going to say. When you deploy the Gerber Dimes pliers, the handles scrape against each other, which actually leads to a little bit of deformation in the aluminum handle scales. If you can see that there in the bottom left, the handles are deforming a little bit. That's mostly cosmetic. That's not going to, inhibit your function at all. Just something to note. It is a little bit cheap, and I kind of wish that they had, engineered around that, but it still works just fine. It just kind of looks a little bit different. For the pliers, they're silky smooth, nice and silky smooth, especially after I added a little bit of gun oil to it, make it a little bit more lubricated. Nice, precise tip to it and grabbing. It is not, however, perfectly symmetrical. It doesn't come to a perfectly symmetrical point there. It is just a little bit off. The bolt grabbers are small, but this is a small multi-tool, so I'll forgive that. The wire cutters are kind of interesting. You can see right at the back there, I've damaged mine just a little bit from cutting very small, not even like fencing wire, but just wire you would use for all sorts of different kinds of things. Little bits of wire. I really don't recommend you tackle anything major with this. Maybe a little bit of stranded wire, like for electrical uses or whatnot, automotive wire. Not a whole lot of big stuff. Not with these pliers. I mean, if you had to, you can kind of use the knife to saw around it and then finish it up with these, but that would be really extreme, situation for this small and lightweight multi-tool. Speaking of the lightweightness, getting to the end of this review, it is 2.2 ounces, without a lanyard, obviously, which is great. That's a perfect weight for, you know, a really light-duty multi-tool. Has a good accompaniment of tools. Like I said, you know, different drivers here. The knife blade, which works all right. Still have to do a little bit more testing to see, you know, how it cuts with a razor edge on it. But so far it's been okay. Not, you know, amazing. And not amazing, not terrible, just okay. And the retail package opener, which comes in handy all the time. That is a super helpful tool. You know, really comfortable in the hand and whatnot. Alright, so that'd be the end of this review. Definitely favorable. I like the Gerber logo there. Black on black. I totally dig it. Got this for Christmas. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, all that stuff is good. This is Tact Pants. I'll be seeing you later, guys.